Welcome to the second part of today's webinar, where we'll be looking at data transformation. After extracting both datasets, we proceed to transforming. So we click on Transform Data. Here we have the Power Query Editor, and on the left we have two queries, one for each dataset, the weather and trips. We're going to start with the trips. We would like to note that transformation of data requires knowledge of what the stakeholders or clients want. This is a case study for a webinar, and we know where we want to go, and we're going to fast track this process. We're going to start by filtering the origin locations. So we click on the arrow, we notice that the list is incomplete, and we click on Load More. Here we have the full list, and we are only concerned for trains departing from Madrid. Next, we want to capitalize each word. So we want to transform, and we want to capitalize. We do the same for destination. Next, we want to change the locale of the departure and arrival. So we're going to right-click, change type, using locale. We're going to specify that we want it to be a date and time, and we're going to use English, and in this case we're going to go with Malta. We're going to do the same for arrivals. We notice that we have a column called Seats that is empty. This we can remove. Next, we want to remove any null values. We are aware that in price there are some nulls. So what we do, we remove rows that are blank rows. We want to change the data type to a currency. So we're going to change this to a price. So we click on this 1.2 symbol, and we want it to be a fixed decimal number. We will specify the actual currency at a later point in time. We go to vehicle type, and what we want to do is we want to clean this, because we have rows that have more than one value. That is representing a change from one train to another. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this column. And now what we're going to do is we're going to split. So we're going to transform. We're going to split this column using a delimiter. We want to use a custom delimiter that's going to be the dash. And we're going to click OK. So now we have two vehicle types. We're going to rename this to train. So this is going to be train type 1, and this is going to be train type 2. We are also going to add another column. This is going to be the duration of the trip, like calculating the difference in minutes from the arrival to the departure. So we're going to go on Add Column, Custom Column, and we are going to call this duration, which is going to be equal to duration.total minutes, arrival minus departure. And now we have another column over here that represents duration. We're going to change this type to a whole number. This represents all the transformations that we need to do on the trips. Now we're going to proceed to the weather information. Okay, so we are going to only retain the date time and the temperature. So we're going to select these columns and we are going to remove all others. We are going to change the locale of the date type to be date time, English, Malta. Okay, and we are going to remove any duplicates. So we're gonna remove rows, we're gonna remove duplicates. So at this point, we have transformed the data at this level. We're going to proceed to additional transformations at a higher level, at a data level. But before we do that, we have to close and apply, which will take long, and we're going to stop the video at this point. Thank you. After doing transformation, we come back to our Power BI desktop window. Currently, from the left sidebar, we notice that we are in the report view, where we can create a report. Yet we can customize the data and customize the model. So we still need to do some changes, so let's proceed there. In the data view, we can see on the right, we have our two queries, the trips and weather, as transformed previously. So while still in the trips, what we're going to do is we're going to switch the price to a currency. So we're going to specify that that is actually a currency, and we're going to choose the euro symbol. Very good. We also want to add some columns that will allow us to link this data to the weather data. So we click on column tools, new column, and there we're going to create a field called day of the week, where we can extract the day of the week from the departure. We are also going to create another column, day of the week number. Reason being is that day of the week, if sorted, will be sorted alphabetically, and rather we want to sort by the numerical number of the day of the week. So what we do is we click on day of the week, and there we want to specify that we want to sort by day of the week number. Next, we need to create a date key. This date key will be what is used to link our two data sets. So after clicking on new column, we input this formula where we extract the departure date in a very specific format. We're going to add one last column, which is the hour information. Like that. Yeah. Okay. So with the report ready for trips, we are going to move on to weather is all good. We don't need to do any changes. What we're going to do is we're going to change the model. As we can see, our two data sets, trips and weather, are not linked together. What we want to do is we want to link date time. So we click on it from weather and drag on date key for trips. This will create a relationship, and this is called a one-to-many relationship. What this means is the entry for that specific date time on weather will have multiple entries for trips. There are multiple trains that departed at that point in time. We want to customize this relationship, and we want to ensure that trips is linked using date key to weather date time. And this is a one-to-many relationship with an active and a single filter direction. Okay. Okay. So like this, we are ready to start creating our report. That concludes the webinar for extraction, transformation, and loading. And in our next webinar, we will start looking at visualization. That concludes this webinar. Thank you very much for your attention.